All right, so
we're looking out for you.
Let's get to it. This is the 2018 holiday gift guide, and we've got, what's the total number of things we have selected today?
I have no idea. You just sent me the list.
I did, yes. So I don't know, maybe like 4, 5, or 10?
Yeah, something like that.
So what do we want to get started with?
I think we should start with the old tried and true. Oh, you're going to ignore me.
I'm going to totally ignore what you said, and I'm going to start with the first thing on my list.
Okay, you start with the first thing on your list.
Okay, good. That's what I'm going to do. So this is a pencil set. Anyone who has followed me for any length of time this year has seen that I've gone to this mechanical pencil set. Now, this is a little risky, Nicole, because pencils are easily lost.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, something happened with this particular set where I was just infatuated with it. I absolutely love the different sizes, the clicking action on it, the way it actually has a retractable tip. Watch this.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Right, so when you actually want to retract the lead all the way, that little metal tip goes away too, which leads to less breakages, and it's just it's a really nice set. So I think what we're going to link to is a 4-piece set, everything from 0.3 to, I believe the thickest is 0.9, and I'll tell you just from my own personal usage, while this is a 4-pack, the one I use the least is the 0.3. That's such a tiny, tiny lead. Oh great, there's someone at the door.
This is perfect.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Let's let that roll. That's just how we do it in our house.
Yep.
And I even lost my notes.
That's okay.
I'll just roll with what I've got here. So yeah, there's a 4-pack. You can also get these individually.
They had this as deal of the day last week, and I was like, hey guys, you're always asking what pencils MARC likes and uses. This is the set. So it was like $30-something. I don't think it's $30 anymore. It's like $50.
Yeah.
But if you use camel, you can kind of see
keep an eye on the price.
Keep an eye on the price, but that is a good gift set. I forgot to mention, not all, but most are in the Amazon store. So amazon.com/shop/thewoodwhisperer.
Okay.
And I'll be putting those in the Canadian and UK stores too.
Canadians. I love my Canadians. All right, so I'm going to jump to a classic. You guys have seen this a gazillion million times. This is my 6500, 3M 6500 respirator.
With pink filters.
Yes, with pink filters. I really like this one because it has this little latch, quick release latch. You can pop this guy up, and that allows this to fall down. So you could take a little swig of your iced tea or your coffee and then pop it back on. It takes all the standard twist-on respirator adapters and filters. These are just the, let's see. They're the particulate, but this is something that I didn't realize until this past year. I always thought okay, well, the pink ones are the pink ones and they do what they do. But in reality, they have ones that are just for particulate, and then they also have ones that are for nuisance organic vapors.
What?
So if you are working in, Nicole, I realize this is very confusing. If you're working in an environment that's you have a decent amount of air circulation, maybe you're just doing a quick spray of something or a quick oil-based finish, it's kind of a pain in the butt to put on those big chunky organic respirator cartridges. So if you have the set with the nuisance organic vapor relief, you actually get a little bit of protection from that. So if you're not inundating the shop with it, it's just a little bit of exposure. So basically I keep them on all the time. It's always for dust. But once in a while, like when you say, hey, can you go sign a thing for someone, and I have to use that little can of lacquer.
Yeah. I thought you meant I was being a nuisance to you.
Yes, there is no nuisance spouse relief available.
Or kid, oh man,
or child relief.
I would pay for those.
Oh, they would be. I would buy a whole set of those. So these guys, I'm going to recommend the pink ones, but make sure they're the ones with the organic vapor relief. I just think it's a nice extra feature. A little bit pricier, but it's worth it.
So this question came up in our community Facebook group the other day, and I was amazed at how many people were saying they used basically paper masks.
Paper masks are better than nothing, right?
If
you're not doing anything and you go to a paper mask, I'd rather see you do that than nothing.
Yeah.
We tend to be, look, I eat, sleep, and drink this stuff, and I don't want to breathe woodworking dust.
We had a scare with your lungs, and it was a wake-up call, I think.
Yeah, it's something I've always protected myself from, but once you get to that extra little bit of paranoia, you realize there's really nothing better than a respirator that seals with good flexible rubber up against skin, and preferably no beard action if you can. You will see in the community some popular newer products that are like neoprene type masks, and they're okay. But they are not going to be as good as this rubber seal. So be careful of the hype. You know, if it's a little bit more comfortable, then maybe that's, you know, not necessarily a sign of a good seal.
I was going to say, I mean, if you still are blowing stuff out of your nose.
Yeah, if you're getting schmutz out of your nose at the end of the day, it's probably not protecting you very well. So I really cannot recommend enough. This is a classic product that we recommend all the time. I've been using for years, 3M 6500.
And real men wear pink.
That's true. Just ask Cremona.
Yep.
He wears pink and purple and thinks nothing of it.
So the doorbell distracted me. I was going to ask you on that pencil set. What are the types that you use? I don't know what.
I already said that.
Oh, did you? Never mind. Sorry.
See, this is the problem.
It distracted me.
This is the problem with the fact that we're a married couple. Is by default, when we're not on this show, we're just ignoring each other.
That's not true.
And sometimes it carries its way into the show.
Sometimes true. I just got distracted.
Okay. So let's move on to something that a lot of people are going. This is kind of the product to love or hate to love, or love to hate.
Yeah.
One or the other.
It depends on if you have one.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a Woodpecker Square. Woodpeckers has come on really strong in the last year, I would say, in the maker community by gifting product, which is fine, but they've been around for a long time, and they've been doing their one-time tools for a long time. The reason I put this here is not because Woodpeckers makes the absolute best square, but because they make some great items that are good gifts, right? So they make products that sometimes you go, yeah, you know what, I might like that, but I'm not going to spend $80 on that thing, whatever that thing is. Well, that's a great gift, right? So what do you buy for the woodworker who has everything? A more expensive version of what they already have. Right? So anyway, I mean, Woodpeckers does make some really, really nice tools. Their one-time tool line is cool for niche things. But if you go, I think there's actually a store on Amazon, the Woodpecker store. They've got some regular items on there. The 641 Square is a good example of that. And they do make great products. So go take a look if you just want to splurge on yourself or have a family member splurge on you. It's hard to beat a Woodpecker's quality American-made square.
You know what they say?
I don't.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. I treat myself all the time, Nicole. Wait till you see the debit card statement.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so I'm going to move from something fairly expensive to something a little bit cheaper.
Oh, affordable. We don't use cheap.
Less expensive.
There we go.
Yes. Cheap implies quality issues, right? So what I have here is a custom scraper. This is a Wood Whisperer branded, see if you can see our little logo on there. This is a Wood Whisperer branded scraper made by DFM Toolworks. You notice it's got a little blue hue on there, but don't worry, that blue will rub off nicely once you start to sharpen this thing. This is a new scraper that we had made up that is thicker. It's thicker than pretty much any typical scraper out there. This guy is about 50 thousandths of an inch in thickness, and I did that because I like a thick scraper. It's not as flexible, so you're not going to get as much sort of curvature in the surface as you're scraping. But why I like that is because I want my surface to be flat. I want a nice, strong burr on there that's going to last a long time. It's very easy to sharpen the edge because of that thickness. So this is something that we have a limited supply of.
Yeah, I got like 34 of them.
We put some of these in our loot bags on the Guild site, but we're now making them available to folks, to anyone who wants to buy one.
I put a link in the chat room, and I can't put it in our Amazon store because they're not sold on Amazon. They're sold on our Guild site.
Right, so. Yeah, so this we are selling and shipping ourselves, but this, I basically made this because I wanted it.
I'll make sure that Mark kisses every one of them.
Like this? There might be some oil machining residue on there. I'm not going to kiss that. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
I'll put my fingerprint on
that
it,
one. There we go.
So these are actually really, really durable in terms of the edge, easy to sharpen because you've got a nice wide reference surface. So
and made in the U.S.
And made in the USA. These are they're just easier to use. I find a thicker scraper to be better, and most companies don't make them this thick.
There you go.
I might even venture to say all companies. It's hard to find one at that thickness. Okay, what else do we have here? I'm going to make another inexpensive.
Kurt in chat room just said, I used that DFM last night. It blew my mind.
It blows my mind.
It was his first card scraper ever.
Oh, good. Good. That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
I'm going to make another inexpensive recommendation here. This one is something that, like, a lot of people are going to be like, come on, Mark. Just now, in 2018, you discovered multi-screwdrivers, right? The thing is, I've always had screwdrivers on the wall. I had, Phillips and flat and different sizes and square drive. I had everything I needed, so I never thought about it. But because I do share tools with the house, this sort of thing has become a lifesaver for me because I keep one in the house and one in the shop. And this particular one, the Mega Pro, is a really, really nice unit. It has all of the different, different tips here on board. Stores in nice and easily. This guy doesn't, it's not hard to pull out, but it's not gonna pop out without you, unless you truly want it to. But just a solid multi-tool screwdriver. There's a ratcheting version.
That would be perfect in a stocking. Like a little
It really would. It's a nice stocking stuffer. They're not too expensive. There's a ratcheting version of it as well. I have that. I don't know where it is. But Mega Pro has great reviews on there. That's why I picked this one. And anytime I show it, I usually get a lot of people going, yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. So this is a great tool. And I think any woodworker...
Has almost 5 stars on Amazon.
Yeah, I think any woodworker could probably use one of these. Mm-hmm. It's just nice to have everything on board. Now, here's the key. You have to put these things back, right? If you go like this, which is what I used to do with these things, and go, nyeh, and then pick the next one, it's not going to be there when you need it. So you have to be a little bit diligent in how you take care of that tool. What else?
Let's see.
Should we move into a little bit of electronic stuff?
Sure, because I love electronics. It's my favorite.
This was the source of a bit of controversy this year.
It was.
In 2018, I dove into earbuds, wireless Bluetooth earbuds, and did a little shootout. We'll put a link in the show notes for this episode where you can actually see which ones came out on top. But I'm going to ruin the ending for you. Spoiler alert. These are the Jaybirds, and the Jaybirds, they rocked my world.
He wears them all the time.
I wear them all the time in the shop. I'm doing the home theater project downstairs, and it's loud. And these, I've been listening to podcasts. I've been listening to audiobooks. It's fantastic.
He doesn't listen to me when he's wearing them.
I just can't hear you.
Yeah, I know.
Because of the sound protection. So here's the thing. These Jaybirds are not necessarily labeled as a safety item, but they do come with these comply tips. That's these really large foam tips. And the noise reduction on this, according to my ears and Nicole's ears, this came out on top, even over some of the brands that we know and love because they're very friendly to the maker community. These performed better in terms of our own ears telling us, is this bad for us or good
I see you had 2 listed.
Okay, so there's the Jaybird X3s. This is actually, I believe, an outdated model.
Oh.
So the Jaybird X4s are out.
Gotcha.
But here's the thing. The Jaybird X3s, if you dig around a little bit, and even on Amazon, maybe not the color you want, they still have some in stock, and they're about $86.
Okay, so they're cheaper.
So they're cheaper now.
Okay.
And you might even be able to find them on sale. Maybe go to Best Buy, see if they have any there. The X4s are the new version, and they're pretty much the same with some improvements. You get about, if I remember correctly, 8 hours of play time on them. Like I said, you get noise reduction that even though it's not being sold as that type of thing, it's a comply tip, and that's what they do. And it was better than all of the other ones that we compared them against in a blind test, even with Nicole's beautiful little silky smooth peaches and cream ears.
Yeah. I was wondering where you were going with that.
I have no idea. So these, so far, so good. I've had a full year of using them in my shop, and they're still here. I haven't had any warranty issues where I needed to get new ones. So far, so good. Read reviews on the earbuds, and you're going to find every brand of earbud has people with bad experiences.
Yeah.
You know, it's a technology that is built to be in situations where it's going to beat up. You know, get beat up like exercise. At work, on a job site, things like that.
Tom wants to know what powers them. Is there like a little tiny battery in them?
Yeah, there's a little dongle.
Oh, no, you charge it. That's right.
So it's rechargeable. There's a little dongle with a USB adapter. That is probably the one thing I don't like about the way they designed this is you have to have that special USB adapter. If you lose that, it's not going to work. A lot of the other ones will charge from like a micro USB or something along those lines. But like I said, diligence in these things. I've got mine sitting, it's plugged into the wall, it's always there. At the end of the day, I go pop it in, and it's ready to go the next day.
Our friend Donna Krieger said, thanks for the Jaybirds recommendation. They do indeed rock.
And here's the thing, sound quality, right? I didn't even touch on sound quality. These protect better than the competition, again, according to our ears, and they sound better. Some of the other stuff that I tested just sounded like duty.
And we should say Jaybird isn't a sponsor or advertiser.
They don't give a crap about this part. But the sound quality on them, the highs and the lows, and it has an app, right? So if you've got a modern phone, you'll be able to put an app on there that allows you to EQ it to your particular needs and whatever you're listening to. It's so good, trust me. Don't even bother with the other ones.
And you did list the Soundpeats, which is a more affordable.
Soundpeats were like $30.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the current price is, and they still outperformed in sound quality some of the other ones. And you could probably get 2 Soundpeats for the price of some of the other guys. Get the Comply ear.
$24.
It's gonna be good.
$24 right now on Amazon.
Right. I mean, that's the bargain option right there. Okay.
There you go.
So let's move into some really expensive stuff. This is the must be nice list.
Yeah. This is the Red Ryder BB gun hiding by the wall kind of gift.
They all have a compass in the stock and this thing which tells time. So what I have here are some beautiful blue spruce chisels. Blue Spruce is one of those small, let's call them like a boutique style company, very small organization. A lot of these are just things you're not going to be able to find elsewhere, just in terms of the looks and the styling. But ultimately, it's still a really good, solid chisel. But what you're paying for a lot of the times is the stuff that's above the tool steel. They are just such gorgeous tools. So these, I bought these with my own money. In fact, I bought these while I was laying in bed at Ann Briggs' house because she had one of these, I believe, one of the smaller butt chisels. And I was like, that's nice. So I'm laying in bed by myself, totally bored and tired because it was like 2 a.m. And like, I know, I'm going to order some really expensive chisels.
I've done that before. Where
ordering chisels?
No, not chisels. I think it was clothing.
I wish you would. So what I wanted to show you here is 3 different styles of chisel. You've got a dovetail chisel, butt chisel, and then a standard bench chisel. They have other tools as well. You can choose colors on, what is this thing called? Is that a ferrule?
You're asking me?
You should know these things by now.
Yeah.
So you can choose different styles, different colors, and also the handle material. So for me, I actually color coordinated them in the sense that I have 2 dovetail chisels. They're exactly the same with the black dilly whacker. And then I believe this is what is this? Something. I forget what that is. I know this is probably Cocobolo and then figured maple. I have to look at that.
Looks like walnut, maybe?
No, that's not walnut.
I don't know.
Don't be crazy.
Hey,
Nicole.
you're asking me to throw some stuff out there. Yeah, there you go.
You're nuts. But this way, all my bench chisels are easy to see. All of the butt chisels are easy to see, and the dovetail chisels are nice and easy. So they do not come cheap, but know that you're supporting, an individual maker of really great tools. And I'll tell you what, boutique makers, there's some great stuff out there.
You know what? Just like our holiday gift guide that we did, the handmade holiday gift guide.
Yeah.
Every single one of those makers do a happy dance if you buy something.
They really do.
They do.
They do. I mean, we're talking about this is not a big organization.
Yeah.
It could be an individual, maybe 1 or 2 people, very small batches of tools going out.
If not dance, they go, woohoo!
I sure would. Well, given how much they charge me for them, they should be dancing. Let's see. So let's go into something more educational, shall we?
Quick question, because I thought I heard you say with those Jaybirds, they come with the Comply tip.
They do.
They do. Okay.
African Blackwood is what that word is.
The Soundpeats do not. You would have to buy them separately.
Soundpeats, yes. Go to the Comply Tips website and look at which series will be adaptable, because you can find out what based on the thingies, the size of the port and all that stuff. You can actually get ones that are guaranteed to fit the Soundpeats there.
And African Blackwood is what the chat room said.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew that. I was just testing. That's all it was.
We're just making sure they're still here with us.
Yeah. So first of all, let's talk old book. There is a book out there. Can you believe this thing is like 5 or 6 years old at this point?
No, because I have very vivid memories of you. That just does not look good.
Okay. Well, notice what this one is. This is the one that I kept because it is so jacked up. It was a weird cut off of the line.
It got out of
look at how whacked out it is. This thing looks like Dougie had some time with it. So I'm showing this one because I think it's funny. All right, so this is Hybrid Woodworking. It's a book I wrote about 5 years ago, talking about how to incorporate hand tools into a power tool wood shop. Of course, this is still available in our store, also available on Amazon. But we have a new book coming out, and this is a long time coming.
Yeah.
I started writing this last year, and we are finally, as you can see, all I have is a printout of I would call this a mocked up book cover. I don't know for sure that this is what the cover is going to look like.
Right.
But if you go to Amazon, this is what they're using there. Okay. So it's called Essential Joinery. At least that's the working title for now. I really, really am behind this book. Not that I wasn't with hybrid woodworking.
Right.
But this one is this. I think you guys are really going to like this because it's not just covering joinery and like the encyclopedia style books that are out there that just cover every possible joint. Lots of hand sketches, so a lot of stuff is drawn and simulated because they have to cover a lot of things. This is called Essential Joinery for a reason. It's literally the most important 5 categories of joints and a few joints within those categories that I think are the most important for fine woodworking. So if you're a relatively new woodworker, this is going to be the book to buy. And and I tried to make it different. There's a lot of good joinery books out there, and I've read mostly all of them.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic. But one thing that they miss out on is error repair. So that is something that even right now I'm actually shooting some last minute stuff to cover how to fix mistakes related to these joints. Right, so it'll be an easy read, very photo heavy, fewer words. It's not as wordy as hybrid woodworking was, but this is going to be coming out in the new year. Release date is in March. You can pre-order on Amazon right now, although I recommend you don't, because if you wait,
if you don't want his signature or you don't want to be in the guild, then you can actually save. It says 35% on the book if you pre-order it right now.
Who doesn't want free stuff?
Well, if I can save, but maybe I only have $20. So.
Maybe you only have $20.
Okay.
If you buy it from us, we're going to have a pre-order campaign starting in January after the holidays, where you can actually get. We don't know exactly what the deal is going to be, but you'll get something free in the guild. Plus, you get the book and it'll be autographed. So that's a pretty sweet deal, and that'll be coming in January.
Yeah. And yes, we will make a bundle, but
for the new and the old book. But you'll have to wait.
You have to wait
till the new book comes out to have the old book shipped with the new book. Otherwise, just buy the new book separately from the old book.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see, what else do I have? I think we're on our final thing here.
I think so.
So this one, it's a little bit of a stretch.
Oh, second, we have the Amazon stuff that I wanted to talk about.
Well, this will all be in the same. This is all about electronics.
That's right, electronics.
So this is more of a bulk category, and I only have 2 examples here because it's hard to bring the Fire TV and stuff over to this spot.
Got it behind you.
So I'm a big electronics nerd. I like home theater. I like good sound. I like home automation. So I'm going to make a couple recommendations. I think they really will improve, quality of life, situations in the shop as well as security. So first thing I'm going to recommend is a camera. Okay, so this is Amazon's Cloud Cam. There are lots of different brands in security cams. There's Nest cams. There's so many, but I don't even want to mention them all. But we're really fond of the Amazon ecosystem. So we have Amazon Cloud Cams. Very good reception, very quick response. We have these all over the house, and I highly recommend having one in the shop. Having this in the shop gives you a view in there if something's going on. Notifications if there's motion when you're not in there. You also have the ability for a loved one to check on you. There's times where I may drop something or maybe like something will fall over and Nicole will be like, "Are you okay?" But here's a way that she can actually just check.
Where I can be lazy.
Yeah, he might be injured.
I sort of care.
He might be injured, but I'm going to rely on the speed of our Wi-Fi connection to determine whether or not Mark is injured. So this is just a great thing. Now, if you're doing things in your shop like scratching your butt, picking your nose,
it's a wireless camera.
Yeah. So you may want to be careful what you do while you're on.
You can turn them off pretty easily through the app.
Very easy to turn off. So good, really nice security update. I don't have one to show here, but something else to consider is a Nest smoke alarm. So we had an incident, not in the shop, thankfully, but it was actually in the basement where one of my amplifiers for the bass shakers that rumble the chairs, that amplifier decided to fry itself.
To melt.
And it was melting and smoldering, and thank goodness we were home, because by the time the smoke alarms went off, we were all awake. I was able to go downstairs within a couple of minutes, figure out the source of the smoke, and unplug the amp and fix everything. I think about 2 or 3 more minutes, and it would have been engulfed in flames.
Thankfully.
It was smoldering, but it was very close to flaming up. If we weren't home,
we would never have known. In fact, we weren't home earlier.
Yeah, earlier in the day, we were not there. So we were so lucky to be home. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to have some kind of mobile notifications. And these things aren't perfect, right? But it's an extra layer of security. So if you can add some Nest Protects, they're called, and they're not super cheap. But I think Costco usually has some pretty good deals on them.
Like a 2-pack or 3-pack usually.
Put one in the shop. You know, there's a good chance you don't even have a smoke alarm in your garage if you're a shop woodworker, garage shop woodworker. So put one in there. If there's an event, a smoke, a fire, something happens in there, carbon monoxide.
How many times have we seen the rags combusting?
Yep, exactly. And you'll get a notification because guess what? Even if you do have a regular wired smoke alarm in there, if you're not home, you are not going to get a notification. You don't know that something's happening. So it's great that the alarms are going off, but what do you do about it if you don't know about it? So there was such a close call for us. We were just like, screw it. We already had a couple of Nest Protects, but now we have one in each major section of the house, and it's duplicating the effort of, don't disable your normal smoke detectors. You want to keep those hooked up, but it is a new wireless network of smoke detectors giving you notifications on your phone. And I think that's really, really important in the shop. All right, so let's move into entertainment.
Does it handle gas or anything? It just handles smoke?
Carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide, okay.
Carbon monoxide and smoke.
Gotcha.
So entertainment.
Yes.
It's important to enjoy your time in the shop, and one of the things I rely on in the shop is Sonos.
I love our Sonos.
We're big Sonos people. We've got them throughout the house.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them. They are very durable. I've had a Sonos that has lived outside in at least one winter season and 2 summer seasons, I'm pretty sure. And it's still doing fine, even though it's not a
outdoor.
It's not an exterior rated system, and it is covered. It's just it's not exposed to like moisture and snow. It's under an overhang, but it still works. So I have a lot of confidence that this thing is going to last for a long time in the shop too. So I do have one in the shop. For as small as they are, and they make bigger ones too, but the Play 1 is really, really nice because it just has great sound. They have engineered a really good sounding speaker for this format, for what it's what it is. You can't expect a miracle out of it, but it's pretty darn good. I could play audiobooks through it. I play podcasts through it.
I have my Amazon Music, Pandora. It just works, and that's what I love most about it. And then that we can group it. So like if I'm in the bathroom, but then I go into the kitchen, I can have the same song playing throughout.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So. And if you have like a smart home integration, like we use Smart Things, you can have notifications and alerts coming through these speakers to let you know like a door was opened, stuff like that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I highly recommend Sonos as a music system in the shop. I think it's really good. But if you get the newer ones, I think it's the Sonos Play 1. Yeah, I think it is. They come with Alexa, Amazon's voice assistant. They come with Alexa integration. So that's actually a really cool thing to have if you have other features and other things with the smart home technology, or you want to do maybe a search or get some information, which will be pretty good. Funny thing.
What?
We talk about penetration of voice assistants.
Yeah.
I was in Home Depot buying a light bulb, and the guy behind me, I heard him he was asking Siri a question about wiring, and he basically said, I'm not going to say the word.
Yeah, you kick it off.
But he goes,
"Hey, lady,
what kind of wiring is used for security systems?" And I listened to it, and I'm like, that's interesting. I don't think I would ever do that. I'm a little bit too self-conscious to do like a voice assistant question, like the same reason I won't do a speakerphone conversation in front of other people. It feels weird.
I've asked Siri questions in the car, and then she tells me, "Sorry, you're driving. I won't do that."
Sorry, dummy. You're behind the wheel. Cannot do that.
I'm hands-free. Just tell me the information I need.
The other things we want to recommend entertainment-wise, I do like having TV in the shop. A lot of people don't because they think it's a distraction. The way I operate with TV, especially in the shop, it's things that I don't have to watch all the time. I may watch some sports on there, but I'll also watch movies or cartoons.
Or old Woodworks.
Or old Woodworks episodes. Things I've seen a million times. I'm not actually watching it. I'm more listening to it. And then occasionally I might glance over and take a look at a score or something like that, or see what jig David made out of MDF. So I do like having the TV in the shop for those things. As an accompaniment to that, I have a Fire TV in there. We adopt certain ecosystems throughout the house. One of those is Amazon's Fire TV system. So
we tried the Apple TV, and I just kept on going back to the Fire TV.
A lot of times it's what you're comfortable with. It's where you've purchased content.
Yeah.
But one thing that's been a game changer for us is the Fire TV Recast. So that is a DVR that allows you to take over-the-air signals and pipe them through to any Fire TV in the house, which means now in the shop, I don't need an antenna out there. I actually have access to our DVR. I can watch things that have been recorded or live TV. Again, we're getting deep into a rabbit hole of electronics here, not woodworking related.
We cut the cord a number of years ago.
Yeah.
In fact, you even have a whole blog post on markspag.com.
On my personal blog. Let's not send people.
Oh, sorry.
Who knows what the condition of that site is. But yeah, we geek out on this stuff all the time. So hopefully this gives you some ideas for fun stuff.
You know why I like Fire TVs? Because you can watch The Wood Whisperer on Amazon Prime.
Yes, that's right. Nicole has worked very hard for the last year and a half.
Yeah. We have 12 seasons.
To get all of our episodes, or as many as we could.
Yeah, they're all up there.
To get all the episodes on Prime, Amazon Prime. And the thing is, if you are not an Amazon Prime member, it will show, what, 99 cents?
It used to be free with ads, but they dropped that service for some reason, and now
so we don't have, the problem is we can't control it.
Yeah.
So if you're not an Amazon Prime member, all the episodes appear as 99 cents. We don't want that, but that's what it has to be. But a lot of people have Amazon Prime, which means it's just part of the service. You get it for free. And even the new episodes, there's a little delay, but it will eventually show up there.
Yeah, Amazon has much more stricter regulations than YouTube. YouTube, you can just upload.
Just the format, frame rate,
all are
linking.
Professionally closed captioned, and higher resolution.
Hammer that like and subscribe button, baby, because...
Oh, they don't like that.
Yeah, that's not good.
You cannot have anything referenced in the video that sends the person out of that, because everything is on the TV. Yeah. So it's not like you can like or subscribe on the TV. Maybe in the future, but...
Right. You never know. Ava tries to. She tries to hit the TV.
Yeah, she does try.
Like it's a touch screen. Okay, so I think that wraps up our gift guide.
You can find everything except for the few things like Blue Spruce tools and the book we didn't mention is in TWW.
We mentioned Nest products. I don't know if Nest products are available on Amazon anymore.
But most everything that we have is in the Amazon.com/shop/The Wood Whisperer.
Yay!
Yay!